Hello, good evening, welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live from News about Desawe Kanda, also live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale. We're live on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. I am Alfred Ocansey.
And my name is Christabel, Success Treve.
This evening, National Communications Authority suspends operating licenses of 9 radio stations for regulatory infractions after 30 days grace period. We'll hear from lawyers of Wontumi Multimedia Broadcasting Company Limited, as well as the Ghana Independent Broadcasting Association, that's GEBA, and National Democratic Congress confirms it will contest the September 2 Akwatia by-election as it questions the NPP's motive over its decision not to file and also failed a candidate in the Tamale Central by-election. This evening as well, final Islamic funeral service held in honor of the 2 senior government officials who died in the military helicopter crash. Details of these plus the latest in business and sports over the next 1 hour. Let's get into a summary of the news now.
In a summary tonight, Menchia Palace has officially announced a ban on all funeral across the Asanteman Kingdom on Thursday, August 21, 2025. This measure is to allow the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II and the Asanteman Council to observe the 1-week celebration of the late Asantehene Nana Konadu Yadom III. In a press release dated August 12, 2025 and signed by Nana Ifa Apinteng, the Deputy Chief of Staff at the Menchia Palace, it was confirmed that the Asantehene passed away peacefully on Thursday, August 7. The 1-week celebration is scheduled to be held at the Menchia Palace from 12 noon to 6 p.m. The palace has asked the general public to take note of the ban on funerals on that day to ensure proper observance of the traditional rites. The National Communications Authority, NCA, has ordered the suspension of 3 radio stations under the Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited, owned by the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Bosiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, for breaches of broadcasting regulations. The affected stations 95.9 FM in Accra, 101.3 FM in Kumasi, and 101.3 FM in Takoradi were cited for failing to address regulatory breaches, including the unauthorized use of studio to transmitter link STL frequencies and operating from unapproved transmitter locations. The move follows the expiration of a 30-day grace period granted by President John Dramani Mahama to allow defaulting stations to rectify violations. 6 other radio stations across the country were also shut down after refusing or neglecting to take corrective measures during the grace period. The Ghana Railway Company Limited has announced a temporary suspension of the Accra-Tema shuttle service effective Tuesday, August 12, 2025. Due to technical hitches in a public notice issued on August 12, the company said the service will resume in full on Monday, August 18, 2025. The company apologized for the inconvenience. Just before we go, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has confirmed its participation in the Akwatia by-election scheduled for September 2, 2025, while accusing the opposition New Patriotic Party of engaging in a political strategy to sway voter sentiment. This is on the back of the decision by the NPP not to field a candidate in the upcoming Tamale Central parliamentary by-election following the tragic death of the area's Member of Parliament, Alhaji Dr. Murtala Muhammad, in the August 6 helicopter crash. In a statement signed by NDC Deputy National Communications Officer Godwin Akogun, the party welcomed the MPP's decision not to contest the Tamale Central by-election, describing it as the best decision they have taken in recent times, but suggested it was a calculated move to avoid defeat and court public sympathy ahead of the Akwatia polls. We have a lot more on our website, 3news.com. Do well to visit there. Over to you, Alfred.
And let's get into some more stories here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 as the National Communications Authority has suspended the operating licenses of the 9 radio stations across the country for breaching broadcasting regulations. Now, in a statement dated August 12, that is today, the NCA said the move follows the end of a 30 30-day grace period granted by President John Dramani Mahama for defaulting radio stations to rectify violations of broadcasting regulations. While some acted within the amnesty period, others failed to address key breaches such as unauthorized use of Studio to transmitter link frequencies and operating from unapproved transmitter sites. The regulator says these stations were operating without a valid certificate of compliance, contrary to Regulation 54 of the Electronic Communications Regulation 2011 LI 1991. Consequently, the operations have been suspended. The affected radio stations include Dumplas Multimedia Limited, Ho 105.9 FM, Dreams Ghana Media Limited, that's New Abrim 104.9, the Jam Multimedia Limited, the operators of Kintampo Radio 101.3, Jewel Group Limited, operators of Duaya Nkwanta Radio 102.7, Kandai Star Community Radio Kandai, that's 107.3, and Unique Gateway Communications Limited, and 3 outlets of One to Me Multimedia Company Limited operating in Accra, that's One to Me FM 95.9, Kumasi 101.3, and Takoradi One to Me 101.3 as well. Now, shortly, let's speak to Andy Apiakobi. Is the lead counsel for the One to Me Multimedia Broadcasting Company Limited, owned by Ashanti Regional Chair, that's NPP, Bernard Enchi-Boesiako, is joining us on the telephone right now. The Honorable Andy Apiakobi is a private legal practitioner, former member of Parliament as well. Honorable, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Albert.
Now, first off, hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Alfred.
Perfect. The NCA, some 30 days or more ago, came out with that press release upon the intervention of the president for a 30-day grace period to be given to the defaulting radio stations to rectify what the NCA had outlined. And after this 30-day period, your client's radio stations, according to the NCA, failed to take advantage of it and rectify. Why? What happened?
Thank you very much, Alfred. My president was to commend and appreciate his intervention in extending the time for us to comply with the he gave us that moratorium for us to be able to continue even as we perfected our act. So my commendation to him. This new allegation of not having complied of the moratorium is not trying to explain. And indeed, the amnesty given by the president, because
hello, Honorable. If you can kindly reposition, because I'm losing you. The line keeps breaking. I don't know where you are.
Okay.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes. You.
Right. What I was saying is that we commend the president for the amnesty given when the time expired and so many other companies had not complied with the regulations. And the president came out with to perfect their act so that they passed. That is commendable, actually. And as always, I don't think that it is fair for us to bring in politics at any time that any to the law. It is not fair. And I think that the president didn't want our companies to operate. He had a beautiful opportunity at the time we failed to comply with the regulation for him to have this on the right of later to cancel our license or anything. And the president, on the other hand, decided to give this moratorium for us to recover and actually perfect our act. And that's what
Hello, Honorable. It keeps going bad again. You're saying that, yes, you commend the president for giving you that grace period. You don't want us to politicize this, but...
We did not meet the expectations of the law at the time. It was not only One to Me Multimedia Company Limited. There were so many others who also did not meet the deadline. And the president came in and said that NCA don't put them off air, allow them to regularize, their acts by way of complying. And the president gave them full time, within which they were supposed to regularize with NCA. And what I'm saying is that now the allegation is that, notwithstanding the president's moratorium, my client has not been able to comply with the expectations of the law. And that is what I'm saying, that upon the grant of the amnesty, we have met the checklist. We have done all that we are supposed to do under the law and the regulations, and upon the interaction with NCA. We have complied with the rules. There are only two areas of disagreement between NCA and my client, and one of which is the inspection that was expected under the new revised regime, that we should put the mask somewhere and invite NCA to come for inspection. Indeed, on that point, we have finished with placing the mask at the designated place. We have paid the statutory fee to facilitate the inspection. We have written to NCA to give us the time, the date to come and inspect and give us the report on it. It is only the NCA that has not had the opportunity or the time to come and conduct the inspection. So for that, I can say that we have discharged our obligation, awaiting the response from NCA. So we are not at fault with that. Then the next one is the STL requirement, studio to transmission or studio to transmitter link.
Yes.
And that one also, I can say that we have.
Is that you've complied with that? You've rectified that?
That one also. We have complied with that one also. And we have.
Hello? Hello?
I'm saying that we
yes.
have. Hello?
Yes, you're saying you have complied or rectified the studio to transmitter link,
we have done so,
which they said
we have also applied for the necessary authorization to do so. We have complied and waiting for NCA to give us the certification to that effect. So we are not in default of the regulations as agreed upon pursuant to the president's intervention. What we suspect has happened is that there must have been some communication default. NCA not appreciating what we have done.
Communication default between who and who?
Between NCA and my client. Because they have communicated profusely on the issues discussed in the last engagement. And NCA has also responded with letters to my client. Except that NCA finds that we have not finished inciting the absence of inspection. Firstly, capacity to perform. The inspection ought to be performed by NCA. And we have done the invitation. Nonetheless, we want to meet with NCA and do a reconciliation.
I see. But let me find out this. Now, since you say that the two things that the NCA says you have committed, which you did not repent within the 30-day period, reason why you have been, punished as we speak, is that the unauthorized use of studio to transmitter link, STL frequencies, and also unapproved transmitter locations. You said you have rectified all of this. After doing that, who was supposed to inform the NCA that, look,
we have done that.
You informed the NCA that you rectified this?
We have done that.
When did you inform the NCA that you had rectified this?
No, in fact, I have a letter in my hand right now addressed to the acting director dated 12th of August 2025. But there were earlier letters also from my client to the NCA.
12th of August.
Or to that effect, inviting them. And in fact, if I want to read this one to you, we write in response to your letter. This is the letter dated 12th of August 2025. And saying that we have complied and inviting NCA that if they are in doubt, please come to our facility and inspect and give us a clean bill of health.
But 12th of August, Honorable, 12th of August is today. Today is the day, the 12th of August. This is the same day that the NCA took the action against your client. So if you had rectified this prior to today...
There is this letter. I'm saying that there are preceding letters, but what is in my hand right now is a response to what NCA has done. And in any case, I have taken instructions to bring all the evidence of our performance before NCA for us to do a reconciliation and then come with a position that will satisfy both parties. So I'm doing a letter now attaching all the exhibits of performance so that I'll meet with the officials of NCA, probably the early hours of tomorrow, so that we can do this reconciliation and clear. I'm not sure that it is NCA's interest to close down our facility. No. I'm sure that NCA's business and interest is to ensure compliance of the rules and regulations, which we think that we have done. And all that takes for us to explain to them and show them evidence of compliance. And therefore, I'm sure we will all be home and dry, and we will not have to engage each other with accusations.
Right.
Nevertheless, I have said it time and again that this situation is not political. And I think that there is this complaint from NCA that we have not complied with the expectations under the law. And we are saying that we have done so. So it is for us to meet and reconcile our positions and make sure that we correct the defects, whether it's procedural or within our performance. So that is all. But sometimes people push it into the political space and think that there is malice towards my client. I don't believe so. So whichever the case is, tomorrow we will meet with NCA, and then we will have a common understanding of what we are expected to do versus what we have done, and see if there are some defaults for correction.
Right. Honorable Apiakubi, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on this. And so tomorrow we'll follow it up and hear exactly what the NCA will say to the information.
Much,
appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
You too then. That's the lead counsel, that's the lawyer for the One to Me multimedia owned by Chairman Bernard Nchibosiakon, is a NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman who owns this One to Me radio, all three radio stations that have had their licenses withdrawn, suspended by the National Communications Authority. The NCA says that these three stations belonging to One to Me, that's Bernard Nchibosiakon, did not comply with the period of grace that was given to them to remedy, one, the violation of the authorized use of studio to transmitter link, that's the STL frequencies, and also unapproved transmitter locations. And so consequently, because they did not remedy all of these breaches, the operations of these three radio stations, One to Me Multimedia Company Limited, located on Accra, frequency 95.9, One to Me Multimedia Company Limited with frequency 101.3 in Kumasi, and then also One to Me Multimedia Company Limited with frequency 101.3 in Takoradi, have had their frequencies suspended. So that is the information that the NCA put out earlier today. And you just heard Andy Apiakubi, who is a private legal practitioner, former member of parliament for Asante Achim North constituency, who is a lawyer for Chairman One to Me, saying that his client's company have complied with the National Communications Authority's directives, and so they question why they took this decision. They would request a meeting with the NCA tomorrow morning to also let them know what remedies they have taken to address this. So we'll keep an eye on how things play out. There on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale, and on W93.5 in One Beyond. The governing National Democratic Congress says it will contest the September 2 Akwetiaba election while accusing the main opposition New Patriotic Party of playing political games. Now, this is in response to the NPP's decision not to field a candidate in the Tamale Central by-election following the tragic death of Member of Parliament for the constituency, Alhaj Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, in last week's helicopter crash. According to the NDC, the NPP's decision is a calculated move to avoid defeat and court sympathy ahead of the Akwetiaba polls. The party's Deputy Communications Officer, Godwin Akogan, in a statement warned against taking the NPP's word at face value, citing past instances where they later reversed similar decisions. Now, we're going to get the full complement of the statement from Godwin Akogan, and Christabel has it. We'll get into the full details of it right now and what the NDC has said in response to the NPP's decision not to contest the Tamale Central seat. The Electoral Commission eventually declares that particular seat vacant as a result of the death of the Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. But I engaged Professor Smart Sapon, is a political analyst, on the MPP's decision not to contest this Tamale Central seat if eventually declared vacant and the by-election takes place. And this is what he had to say.
Good reasons. No political party stays out of an election, even in constituencies that he knows so well that it's a stronghold of the other party. If that argument should be extended, then a place like Ketu South, NPP shouldn't ever think of filing a candidate. A place like Kwabre East, or maybe in Shayesu or Menshia, somewhere safe for the NPP, maybe we would have gone with the assumption that even for the general election, the NDC wouldn't need to field candidates. In fact, there are such safe seats across the country distributed among the MPP and the NDC. But what do we see? We see them still participating. In fact, there are some constituencies that the candidates that either MPP or NDC filed knows so well that as for this constituency, whatever I do, I'm not going to win. But for the sake of participatory democracy, for the sake of perhaps adding some votes to the general votes of the flag bearer and all those things, they do participate. So people participate in constituency elections for various reasons. And the numerical analysis only points to the fact that your very good friend, the former Deputy Finance Minister, died. You realize that the circumstances made NDC pulled out of the election. The reason the NDC gave, especially the reason given by my own Yamin Joseph, the organizer, national organizer then, and even now, the reason was still in honor of the departed and all those things, even though somebody could have extended the argument to say Ejesu is also a safe seat for the MPP, and that maybe the NDC knew that if they should participate, they were not going to make any much impact. Sometimes the numerical analysis is put aside, and the MPP, knowing too well that still is a safe seat, would have still want to put themselves up for competition, just as we've seen in instances in the past over the by-elections that we've had since 1992. So I would want us to, yes, still respect the fact that it's a safe seat for the NDC, and that
right.
Perhaps if the NDC had contested, they would have still won. But the reasons is a noble set of reasons, and we can go with it.
And I do appreciate you for this. Professor Smatsapon, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us with your thoughts on this. Professor Smatsapon is a political analyst there, and the statistics tells it all. If you go on what website, 3news.com, what I'm showing you is there on 3news.com. It captures what happened in 2024, the elections. Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed showed up strongly for the NDC. And if you look at the net loss of the MPP in 2024 as against 2020, and the net gain of the NDC. In fact, Dr. Murtala Mohammed took more in terms of votes from the NPP in 2024 as compared to the votes that the NPP got in 2020. So you saw the net loss of 20.6% in 2024. In the same way, the NDC gained, Dr. Murtala Mohammed gained as a candidate 20.9% as compared to the votes that the NDC gained in 2020. So he gave a strong showing of the party, or for the party, in that Tamale Central constituency. And Christopher.
So that's what the analysis that went into exactly what could have led to the New Patriotic Party's decision not to contest this particular Tamale Central seat. If you go on our Facebook page, we're showing you what happened in the 2024 elections with the late Dr. Murtala Mohammed increasing the NDC's votes there by some over 21% from the 41,196 votes that the party won the 2020 elections with, to some 52,265 of the valid votes cast in 2024, as against the NPP's Sulemana Salifu, who polled just 24.6%. That's some 16,647, as against Murtala Mohammed's 52,263. So in terms of also the numerical representation of the vote in 2024, you would also understand why the NPP looked at what happened in 2024 and indicated that, look, it may not be even politically wise, according to the likes of Professor Smart Sapon, for them to contest this, looking at their showing in that particular constituency, Tamale Central constituency, in 2024. The 2024 election results, Dr. Murtala Mohammed gave a strong showing in that constituency for the NDC with some 52,263 of the valid votes cast, as against the NPP's Sulemana Salifu with some 16,647. So over 75%, in fact, 76% of the valid vote cast is what Dr. Murtala Mohammed, the late, won that election in 2024 with, as against some 24% polled by the NPP's candidate there. But Madi Jibril is Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, joining us on the telephone. Thank you so much. One thought that the NDC would return the NPP's gesture by not fielding a candidate in Akwetia. You're saying that the NPP is not being sincere with this gesture. Why is that?
Let me say good evening to your listeners. NPP is not sincere and also on principle in this situation. It is not just because of the results that NPP is not contesting. Because if you talk about results or the percentage, in 2009, in Jirapa, the percentage was the same, of 75-25. But NPP contested that by-election. So it is not about the results. But the NPP only trying to score a key political point in this situation. Because not long ago, the NPP minority in Parliament, when an exclusion passed, when we were waiting for the date for election, our majority leader asked the Speaker when the elections of Akwetia would be announced. The NPP walked out from Parliament, citing a situation that the NDC majority are insensitive because the family have not come to announce anything of election of their disease. So why will NDC start talking about election issues? The same group of people with their parliamentarians meeting on Monday, whilst the family of Murtala Mohammed have not come to announce anything in Parliament to anybody. Then, even if we don't have a date, then you come to write when they say that you are not contesting elections. It tells you that these people are not people you can trust, and they are they don't have principle in terms of dealing with them. And again, in their statement, they mentioned that because of the issue that comes with by elections, that is why they are not participating.
Yes, they talk about, they say that the tensions and the acrimony that comes with it, they do not want that gallant Ghanaians we have lost, and reason why they don't want to contest. And so why do you question that?
When we had the North elections, we saw all and heard what happened. But after that, when we are going for Abukutia, it is MPP who were cautioned or even warning the NDC that when you attempt to participate in that election, we see mayhem. So they have set the ground ruling already. They didn't say that what happened at Blekumanov, we don't want it to happen, so we'll comport ourselves in Abukutia. But they didn't say that. So if you are referring to this, and there's elections in Abukutia, you are not withdrawing from Abukutia, you are saying that you will not participate in the election that we don't have the date because of the tension, then you are not principled. In any case, if Ghana belongs only for NDC and MPP to contest elections or by-elections? Because in 2012, thereabout, the MPP withdrew from the Kumbungu by-elections, isn't it? But the PNC contested, and then the PNC won the elections. In Yajiso, the NDC didn't contest elections. But the elections was, in fact, the independent gave MPP funds for their money. And the tension was there. People were attacked in Yajiso. So it's not about somebody withdrawing or not to withdraw. It's how we manage ourselves in any election. So for me, I don't see the head and tail of the NPP statement that they issue. If you are not contesting elections, in that case, we have not picked nomination for you to say that I'm contesting, I'm withdrawing. So that word say we are withdrawing from elections, it's neither here or there. They are not participating. When we guys point that they are not participating, we'll get this through. They said they are not contesting Akulekumanov, but they participated fully in Akulekumanov, the 19 polling station.
Follows days of intense surveillance and manhunt by NACOC operatives. Authorities say the suspects played a central role in the botched smuggling attempt and will face prosecution in accordance with Ghana's narcotics law. The Commission appreciates all who assisted and continues to support NACOC in its operations against illicit drug trafficking.
And let us encourage our leadership in government, particularly President John Dramani Mahama, that he should not be cowed down or be daunted by whatever prophecies that are coming out, because we know that nothing happens on the blind side of Allah.
On getting a replace the New Patriotic Party for their decision not to contest the by-election, cautioned possible aspirants to hasten slowly in their quest to represent the people of the constituency in Parliament.
We thank our brothers in MPP for declaring that they will not contest us in Tamale Central.
Funeral urged Ghanaians to be each other's keeper.
Whatever thing you are doing, you can't tell your exit time. You can neither also tell your exit form, nor can you tell after your exit what will be.
helicopter crash. He made the announcement at the funeral rites for former Deputy National Secretary Coordinator Alhaji Mohammed Lumina Muniru in Accra.
Since when to get a replacement for him, because he was virtually my personal assistant. You could call Muniru at 1 a.m. in the night and tell him, Muniru, go to Yempi or go to Damango. He won't hesitate, he won't wait till morning. He will set off that same night and go and perform the errand that you have sent him to perform. Since where are we going to get a replacement for him? And for me, I say, where am I going to get a replacement for him? Because he was and go and perform the errand that you have sent him to perform. Since where
That was President John Dramani Mahama there. And in times of such grief, psychological support is key, and to ensure the sanity and healing of the affected victims, let's just bring in Dr. Albert Sedohia, who is a clinical psychologist. Doc, thank you for joining us here on Hot Edition.
Thank you.
Right, Doc, from the psychological perspective, how would you say we have managed the entire disaster? Could it be better?
Yes, so first of all, on behalf of Psychiatric Association of Ghana, I'm a psychiatrist. So on behalf of Psychiatric Association of Ghana Mental Health Authority, I just want to again wish our sincere condolence to the family and of course all of us as Ghanaians. Yes, so far we've done pretty good with how things have been handled. Of course, as is expected, the psychosocial support for anyone who is grieving is expected, and the families, friends, and close relatives should be given individual therapies, group therapies, and all that is sure is ongoing. Days have been set aside to mourn nationally. That has also been done. I heard the president has allocated a dedicated fund to cater for the children of departed heroes. That is also one of the practical assistance that they need. Their friends and families are to allow of course, the cry when you are grieving. Nobody should say, it's okay, you don't cry. So grieving is allowed. Everybody grieves differently. Some people will go through the stages very slowly. Some go through it very fast. And it is allowed for the person to process all of it. So all these things are in order. There is never a perfect thing anywhere. We can always do better, but I must commend that things have been handled quite professionally so far, because grieving is a very tough thing for anyone at all to go through. And this has been a national tragedy. All of us are grieving, and not just the close friends and family. So I must say a lot has been done, which has been in the right direction. So what is expected to be done for anyone in such a situation, if it's a group thing, the individuals, since we are all different, the individuals need individual therapy, then group therapy, they need support system, support groups, where they share their feelings, their emotions with other people who have gone through or who may also be going through similar things. They should be allowed to do certain things in memory, so memorials, in memory of their beloved. It's allowed. They can name places, things, or do certain things in memory of their beloved. All that is ongoing. And they also need practical assistance, where for some of them, they may not be able to go to work. So their work are supposed to allow them to give them time off. Some may not be able to go to school. They should be allowed to take time off work, off school, and some of them may have younger ones that they will be taking care of. There should be family members who come around to take care of those younger ones, and even the individuals themselves who may not be able to take care of themselves during these hard times. So I must say a lot has been done, and all of them are in the right direction so far.
Doc, does the association have any interventions to help the affected?
Yes, first of all, a mental health authority has a line for everyone, in fact, generally, not just specifically for this tragedy. There is a helpline which is very active and operational. It's toll-free for anyone who is going through any psychological challenges. You can just reach out to 0800 678 678. 0800 678 678. Aside that, professionals are always engaged and deployed to such events to go give professional assistance anytime it happens. It didn't have any time such things happen. Members of the Ghana Psychological Association, South African Association of Ghana are always deployed, and we always avail ourselves to that.
Thank you very much, Doc. That was Dr. Albert Sedo here, who is a clinical psychologist. Now, moving on to other stories, a statesman and elder of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Kwame Pienim, says the confusion that surrounded the party's participation in the Ablekuma North parliamentary election rerun was as a result of the lack of direction and strategic thinking in the MPP now. You would recall that the party earlier issued a statement saying it would not participate in the poll because the EC was at fault, but the candidate Ikwe Friye went ahead and participated but lost to the NDC's Irabina Orbin. In an exclusive interview with Beatrice Edu, Mr. Pienim said the NPP should have been consistent with the law.
You talked about you not being happy, or a number of people like you not being happy with the direction of the MPP now and wanting to reorganize it. Would you say that what we saw in Ablekuma North in the run-up to the rerun of that parliamentary poll is because of the leadership direction that you're talking about now? And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The leadership saying that we are not interested in running participating in this election because we feel that things have not been done right. And the candidate ignoring that stance of the leadership and going ahead and eventually getting even some of the leaders supporting her.
No, I think that as part of the lack of direction and lack of strategic thinking. You know, what does it mean, the party saying that we are not participating in the election? When you say that, it meant the General Secretary wrote to the Electoral Commission to say we are not participating in this election. What can a candidate say? Would she be independent? So there was ambivalence. Go and try. We're in court. We should have been firm and stayed in court for a decision to be made on it. Not say we are going to have an election and then being ambivalent whether the candidate should go or not. I don't see that the candidate disobeyed the instructions of the party. The Electoral Commission is holding the elections. General Secretary writes, we are not participating. Why do you say that? How does your name get onto the vote to say you are standing? You can't do that.
Did it contribute to her loss?
Sure, but if you are sanctioning the candidate for standing, all the prominent people in the party who supported her financially should also.
That was statesman and elder of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Kwame Pienim. Students at the Vapot Senior High School in the Volta region continue to sleep in bedbugs-infested dormitories at the school as the school battles with inadequate accommodation infrastructure. School authorities say the overall state of infrastructure in the school remains a major setback to effective teaching and learning and are appealing to government to intervene. There's more in the following report by my correspondent, Faisal Abdul-Drisu.
We'll bring you details of that particular story shortly. But if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM927, we're showing you the school, Vapot Senior High School, the concerns that the students are having to grapple with in that school. But also away from that, the residents and motorists in Seshirioso and Samura can also soon breathe a sigh of relief as construction progresses on a new 90-meter span bridge with a 1-kilometer approach road aimed at addressing long-standing safety and traffic challenges. To speed up work, the construction firm Asabia Construction has adopted a 24-hour working schedule on key road projects in Seshirioso, aligning with the government's vision for a round-the-clock economy.
The existing bridge has been deemed unfit for purpose, creating significant hazards for both pedestrians and motorists. Its narrow structure makes two-way traffic difficult, forcing vehicles to compete for space. The construction firm working on the new 90-meter span bridge has intensified work, deploying day and night shifts to ensure timely completion.
The project was awarded in January 2023. And after commencement of the project, we faced some little challenges. That was the design. It took us almost about a year before we finished the design. So the actual time of starting this bridge is around May 2024. And we realized almost half of the time is gone. So we have to approach the method of 24-hour economy. So we have to work in sometimes 2 shifts, sometimes 3 shifts. At the same time, too, the 24-hour economy help employment in the village here.
This initiative aims to minimize delays, improve efficiency, and provide employment opportunities for local workers in multiple shifts.
I'm actually impressed with the work so far because the contractor has taken extra steps to even work during the night when it becomes necessary in order to catch up and complete the work on time, to be able to hand over to the government of Ghana. So I think it's a good thing for other contractors to follow suit.
The initiative has received praise from local authorities and residents who have long awaited improved road networks to boost economic activities. The project has already faced delays, but the contractors' recent round-the-clock efforts have given us renewed hope. We remain optimistic that work will continue uninterrupted until completion. The pace of work is commendable, and we urge the contractor to maintain this momentum, given the critical importance.
You're still live here on Hot Edition. We'll be back with sports and business. Bismarck Awusa is standing by.
Once completed, the bridge will not only enhance safety, but also improve transportation efficiency in the Western North region, supporting economic activities and
Always busy on the go. Tap the app, you're good to go. Big dreams, little time. There's a boat for you to ride. Every single time, yeah. While the errands will link up for more. Hop in a boat and get out and explore. There's a boat for you to ride, yeah. Make moves before.
Use code KEEPMOVING50 for 50% off your first 3 rides. Download the Bolt app now.
Everyone, prices continue to drop at Electroland Ghana Limited. CDA Picky promotion on Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO Electronics. Get a NASCO 24-inch LED flat for $899 Ghana cedis. Starting from 2,999 Ghana cedis, you can get 6 kg NASCO washing machine plus a free gas stove. And the Media Inverter 1.5 HP R410 Unicool split comes with a free blender. And when you purchase 65, 75, and 85 TCL QD Mini LED 4K TVs, you will get a free TCL FHD Smart Android TV. Now buy a Samsung 578, 582, and 636-liter side-by-side refrigerators and walk away with free microwave grill. Go to our showrooms and dealer stores across Ghana now. Call 050-315-9739 or www.electrolandgh.com for inquiries.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the business segment on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Hausa. Coming up tonight, UK-based research firm Fitch Solutions projects Bank of Ghana to cut policy rate to 23% in 2025, 20% in 2026 on lower inflation and stable CDA. Thanks for your company. Now to the details. Fitch Solutions is projecting that the Bank of Ghana will gradually lower its policy rate to 23% by the end of 2025 and further to 20% by the end of 2026. This follows a sharp 300 basis point cut to 25% in July 2025, with a UK-based research firm citing moderating inflation, stable exchange rates, and supportive global gold prices as key factors for sustained monetary easing. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details.
The Bank of Ghana's benchmark interest rate is expected to drop further over the next 2 years, with the UK-based Fitch Solutions forecasting 23% by the end of 2025 and 20% by the close of 2026. This follows the central bank's surprise 300 basis point cut to 25% in July, a move attributed to slowing inflation and a stronger cedi. In its latest report titled Monetary Easing to Persist in Ghana Until Mid-2026, Fitch Solutions predicts a 100 basis points reduction at 24% at the Monetary Policy Committee's September 2025 meeting, followed by another 100 basis point cut in November. The easing cycle, it says, will exceed into the first half of 2026, supported by elevated good prices, global trade uncertainty, and geopolitical risks that would help keep the cedi stable and imported inflation pressures low. Average inflation is forecast to moderate from 22.9% in 2024 to 15.5% in 2025 and 12.2% in 2026.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on UK-based research firm Fitch Solutions projecting cut in Bank of Ghana's policy rate to 23% in 2025 and 20% in 2026. Now, Ghana's palm oil industry is once again in the national spotlight as the government unveils an ambitious plan to close the gap between domestic production and consumption. Figures from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture's 2025 report shows that the country produces only 50,000 metric tons of palm oil annually, yet consumes 5 times that amount, about 250,000 metric tons. The shortfall is plagued by imports, contributing to a food import bill estimated at $2 billion each year. Now, before we go, Bill's Microcredit is for the second time sponsoring the Gamanche or Gamashi Homowo celebration. Ahead of the festival, indigents embarked on a health walk to keep fit in the preparation for the festivities.
Traditional priests known as Wulome, indigents from key Ghana traditional communities, and staff of Bill's Microcredit assembled at the Manchabuena in Jamestown to participate in pre-activities marking this year's Homowo Festival. Sponsored by Bill's, the participants paraded through the principal streets of the Central Business District, Choko, Kolegono, Mamprobi, and Bukom, to promote the Bill's brand and share goodwill ahead of the Native Festival. The day's activities also featured various games alongside a free health screening for residents. Head of Human Capital at Bill's Microcredit, Abigail Nadedekwe, explained the company's association with the Homowo celebration.
At Bill's, we are in the 16 regions, which include Gamashi. So this is really something that supports the brand, and that is why we are supporting it. And so we are not just supporting it for our business, but we are also supporting this to let them know that we are here to be part of them by working with them and assuring them that we are not here to just do business with them, but we are here to also celebrate and cherish their tradition.
Bills also set up a customer service desk to address concerns about its products and services. Nadedekwe elaborates.
We are taking the opportunity, you can see our stand over there, to also welcome people who have issues. So we are not just having this fun or work with them, but we also want to listen to the feedback they have for us as an organization. And this is a fine opportunity for them to also know or hear what we have to say and see how best they can also strategize themselves and do prompt repayment for us.
The Gamashi Homowa celebration is scheduled for Saturday, August 16, 2025, and will be preceded by the Twins Yam Festival on Friday, August 15, 2025.
And that was a report on Bill's Microcredit sponsoring Gamashi Homowa celebrations for the second time, bringing us to the end of the business news on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. For more business stories, please check out our website 3news.com. And that brings us to the end of Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7.